Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of White Dwarf magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this month we're on issue 481 of White Dwarf magazine, adorned on the front cover by a shaman of the WAAAGH clans, as we kind of focus on a bit of Warhammer Age of Sigmar within this one, for the Great Stomp and war that's surging south in the realm of WAAAGH, and we also do get a pull-out section as well for it as well, so including some cards. So you have your strategic objectives, key targets, and much more on one side for the forces of order, or whatever forces you have going up against the Aurochs and the forces of destruction on this side, so including the plan, Dem needs clobbering, and for the boss, and much more. So really cool stuff, and adds a little bit more to it. We've had them type of cards before, so it just adds to them. And if you are going through this kind of flashpoint area as well within the narrative of a campaign, this is the type of stuff you want to have a nosy at. So really good stuff. Right, into the issue we go. So, as per usual, starting off in the section that I always like to start in, which is the contact section, where people have sent in their photos of their models that have recently done, or may not have recently done, and yeah, sometimes they get published, so really good stuff. There are some awesome ones in here as well. So we have, on the first page of course, we have some Necrons with pink weapons, which is, you know, kind of a Necron look that mine are going for, in all honesty, but yeah, kind of similar. So yeah, really good stuff, and they do look really nice. A little bit too much pink in my opinion, but yeah, each to their own. It still looks really nice and looks quite nicely painted. We have some awesome Elfheim Eagles, one of the good old Blood Bowl teams and one of the Elven Blood Bowl teams, which we don't see too often. Honestly, I found these really hard to paint myself when I had mine, and I've still got them somewhere. I don't know where they are, but they're really cool. Purple and yellow kind of the uniform. They look really good. And the one thing that I do really like with these is they have this lush, kind of bright, vibrant green grass on their bases, which looks fantastic. It's the way I prefer to do it. So if I do Blood Bowl teams, I prefer to do bases depending on the team. Will depend on what kind of look the base has. So if it's, for instance, the Aurochs, they have more kind of a dark grass kind of theme to them, and they have like a lot of patches of mud and stuff like that throughout their kind of base units and everything like that are utilised for them. If it's humans and elves, I use for very lush kind of coloured bright grass, so they look a lot better. I'm going to show you one of mine now. So for instance, the tree, the good old tree that I did, has that kind of more lush kind of grass on the base, because I felt it looked right and it fits in with the way that the model's done, so it looks a lot better. Anyway, after that ramble, an awesome Dharma Volga model here as well, which I must admit I really like that, and having two different coloured wolves actually works very well. I like it. I think it's genuinely a really nice way doing it, and it's one that I personally would do as well when I eventually get around to getting that model. So really good stuff. And we also have an awesome conversion here as well. So this is Lilith, and it is an awesome conversion by Eunice Tan, who has used Alariel with some parts from good old Teclis as well, so including the headdress and the sword, and it makes a new unit. It looks really nice. I really like that. It looks fantastic. It's very nicely painted, and instead of being a natural playable piece, it's a diorama piece, which looks really cool as well. So really good stuff. On the next page we have an awesome Lycaon, the Executioner. Very bright, vibrant colours. Looks really good. I really like it. It's a really nice mini. We have some very vibrant looking Tyranids. Look really cool. Do really like them. They look very nicely done as well, with that, even with that bright green. It stands out, which is sometimes what you want from your army. Somebody made a squid cake. Why not? Yeah, I would, you know, I'd eat it. It'd be worth a try. And then we have two very awesome Mega Gargants. These look brilliant. These are really well done. They have pieces of terrain on the bases, which make them stand out a lot more. They look fantastic. I genuinely really like them. I think they look absolutely brilliant. Hard to do to get that look, but they look fantastic nonetheless. Yeah, not much more to say about it. They're fantastic. They're really nicely painted minis. Very vibrant. Very cool. I like the fact that there's a bit of moss growing up that seems to be kind of coating the gargants as well. So it looks like they've been lumbering around through all the vegetation, and yeah, they've obviously caught a load of it and it's kind of grown up them. But yeah, really good stuff. It looks really nice. And I even like the fact that there's a little bit of grass growing out of the good old ship that's kind of on the back of the Kraken Eater as well there. So it looks really good stuff. Genuinely lovely models. So really cool. Over into the Mortal Realms, we carry on with our Flashpoint Rondel, which is really cool. Obviously, mainly focusing on the forces of destruction in the shape of the WAAAGH war clans pushing forward and taking back parts of the coastline within the realm of Gur, and yeah, really cool. So there's a lot more going on. So how the Flashpoint is playing out, and kind of the designed narrative for them as well, including the Gloomspite Gits, as they kind of have a bit of a resurgence and utilise their squigs as they charge through. And even some ogres as well, which look really cool. So forces of destruction obviously having that big massive push after good old Kragnos was awoken, should I say, and released back into the Mortal Realms. He's pushing through, and the forces of destruction have picked up their pace. If you are going to go through Flashpoint as well, you can carry on with a Great Stomp, including a couple of battle points as well, including some extra effects that you can utilise within everything, including completing the achievement cards that you got early with this issue, and a couple of battle plans as well for it as well. So depending on which you want to go for, really cool stuff. It looks pretty cool. So if you are playing through this Flashpoint, I hope you're enjoying it, and yeah, it looks really good. I do like it. Personally, I'm not an WAAAGH player, not really an Order player or focused on Order. The army that I personally am more concerned about is good old Soulblight Gravelords, because I do really like them. Talking of Soulblight Gravelords though, there are some updates to the rules to do with them, including mostly the zombies in all honesty. So your Deadwalker zombies have had some updates, including an update to their War Scroll, and how to utilise certain behaviours as well within them as well, including their in combat, where you can mindless undead, you can hold, and you can even rampage with them, and much more. And yeah, depending on how kind of away that they are. So including their shambling advance if they're far away. So really cool stuff. Some updated rules to them, which makes sense, because obviously everything needs to be updated every now and again, so it tweaks it, balances every game as it goes. We also get some awesome photo work as well from down at the bottom, so including some good old Sigmarite Mausoleum or Garden of Moor, depending on which part of Warhammer you're more used to, scenery pieces, and a nice mass of zombies ploughing through and heading towards these Stormcast Eternals, the Vendensed Witch Hunters, and even a Fire Slayer just up there as well. So really cool stuff. And new Black Talon hiding around there, really good, and looks really cool. You can also have a battle plan for it as well. So for a night in Orphankhan, depends on how you want to go about doing it. So the idea is that you would be going through. So if you are playing as the heroes, your idea is to try and get through to the other side. Have a bit of fun with it. Looks really cool. You also get a battle plan for Return of the Zombie Horde as well. So you'll have a territory to kind of defend, loads of objectives to try and hold off of, and how the zombies can get in there as well. So really cool stuff, and quite enjoyable to kind of see as well. Staying within the Mortal Realms, but only slightly differently, Warcry. There are some awesome photos in here for different war hosts for Warcry that have been painted up, including 3 from Chris Peach, good old Peachy, really nicely done. So we have Spire Tyrants, which look really cool and very dark and gloomy. We have some awesome good old Daughters of Cain, and we also have a free guild tribe of Akshi as well, mixing some different units up. Bit of Stormcast, bit of K-Knights, some dwarves, and even a few extras. They look really cool, very nicely done, and very nicely painted, and look very differently. So they all look and work, kind of have a different resemblance to them. We also have more on the other pages, so we have some awesome iron golems which look really cool, some awesome cipher lords, also very nicely painted. We have some very nicely well done painted Soulblight Grave Lords, including Radikar the Wolf, part of the Orphan Watch, and some dead Walker Zombies, and your Kasagi Night Guard as well, which look really cool. They look really nicely well done as well, which is always really good to see. We also, on the other page, we get some awesome Ideneth Deepkin. I really like them. They're a very nicely painted colour scheme. Some awesome Skaven as well. Good old Skaven. I do like Skaven. Really nice. Really cool. They look really nice as well. They look very, no. How many more objectives do you need to get in there? But they look really good. And on the other pages, we also have some more Scions of Flame, we have some Corvus Cabal, we have some Chaotic Beasts, which look really cool. They're all very nicely painted, a lot of nicely painted minis in these pages, and yeah, including some good old Seraphon as well, which look really good, which I must admit, yeah, they look enjoyable, they look really good, and I do like a good old bit of lizard men as you go through. And we even have some Sylvaneth with that kind of white tree bark kind of look to them, which makes them look really nice. Has a bit of a different look to them. Really cool. I do quite like all of these models. They all look really good and well done. And then we head into the 41st millennium. I have missed out the Flashpoint Nephilim updates because of time, but it's a really decent section if you like your 40k, so definitely worth having a read through. Into Kill Team though, obviously there is a Kill Team game going on, so 5 Dwarfers, so members of the White Dwarf team, are currently playing a game of Kill Team, going through and seeing who will be the victor at the end of it. So there are some pretty cool models obviously on show as well here. So we have some Orcs, so Orc Commandos, so sneaky lads as they have been called, are currently going very well. They have 5 requisition points and an asset capacity of 3. You can also see their stash and their strategic assets as well. It looks really good, and they seem to be doing quite nicely as well. And then we also have the good old Harlequins, which are kind of ploughing through as well. So the cast of the Crimson Sun, so Harlequin Dancer Troupe, also doing quite well. They have 4 requisition points and 2 asset capacity, so they have a pretty decent stash as well as some pretty good strategic assets as well as they go through, and their points are going quite nicely. Then we also have good old I wanted to say the Eyes of Nine, but not the Eyes of Nine, Thousand Suns. They look really cool. So the Prodigal Sons, as they have been named, they look really good. They seem to be doing a little bit on the rough side, but they have quite a large stash of gear, and they also have a couple of strategic assets as well. Then we have our good old Astra Militarum Veteran Guardsmen, so Hutanian Bull Sharks as they're being called. 1 requisition point, 2 asset capacity at the moment. Not as much going on for them. They've kind of been a little bit kind of hampered and hindered and beaten up a bit from the looks of it, but they're still doing okay. And then lastly we have our Tau, the Darklight Tau, which look really nice, and they're quite well painted as well. They look very different, which is the main thing with them. Also not having a lot in their stash, but they are still kind of going through as well. So no, it's not all bad. They just need a little bit more of a bit more luck on their side from the looks of it, but not too bad. It's always really worth having a look through all these other Kill Team players and how they're getting on, to see what you could be doing if you play these type of things as well. So really good stuff. Jumping straight ahead to the inside of the studio, I have missed out the final section of the battle report from good old Horus Heresy, which was started last week, and this is the second part to it and the end of it this week, this month should I say. It's really good. It's worth having a nosy through if you like your Horus Heresy, so definitely have a nosy at that. I've also missed out a Middle Earth section, not a lot to it, but it's not too bad. There's some really nicely painted minis in there. Not a lot of focus on a lot of it though, in all honesty. Hopefully one day we will. But otherwise, into the Into Studio, there's some really nicely painted minis. So if you are struggling with a little bit of inspiration of how to go through, or if you're doing your hobby bingo, worth checking out. There's obviously a couple of people who have had their good old hobby bingo cards where they've filled one already this year. Must admit, I don't know how far I've got through mine because I've lost it. But yeah, really good stuff, and there's some really cool painted minis in here as well, including Imperial Fist Praetor and Alpha Legion as well, which look really good stuff. But for now, that's it from me. The next sale of White Dwarf, obviously on sale from the 18th of November, as you can see here. And yeah, really good stuff. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.